Hey guys, good morning. Good morning, Mangwanani, goedemorgen. And I just wanted to share this morning with you guys about how my children are seeing a year now, and after we are educating them, homeschooling, and it's like we are being educated. We are educating our children at the same time they educate us as well, because we are living in a different generation. We grew up in a different generation, and we're now realizing that our kids are asking some questions that we never asked our parents, and these questions are very critical, because now it's like when we were in the car yesterday and it was really raining very hard, and my children were like, "Oh, Mama, so if we don't celebrate these things that are no longer allowed because there were lies behind, according to history. So what can we do?" So we're talking about this whole idea of the traditions in the Netherlands of this blackface. Of course, it's not everywhere in Europe. It's not everywhere in Western world. But at the same time, if we look at the history, of course, it has existed in most of the countries. So we cannot run away from the fact that when we are bringing up our children, we need to tell them the truth. And who is supposed to tell the children the truth? The black people, the white people? So the thing is, we all supposed to tell our children the truth, because our children are sitting in the same classes. They should know where they are going. And one thing I once told one woman whom I was arguing with last year about this black face, I said to her, "Look, you never know if I will ever be an employer for your own child. You never know if my son is ever going to get married to your daughter. You never know if your daughter is ever going to work in Africa." And from the day of today, there's never a day that a child from Europe goes to Africa thinking that she's superior, she's privileged, thinking that he's the one who's going to save Africa, poor Africa. Because the children of today are being taught how they are, where they come from, how to appreciate Africa as a continent, how to appreciate Africa as a place where intelligent people come from. So there's never a way anymore that you can tell your child here in Europe today that, you are going to save Africa because there are a lot of poor children coming from Africa. Let's go and vaccinate poor children from Africa because they do not have hospitals. Or let's go and build schools in Africa because they can't build schools on their own. Or let's go and help an African girl child in Africa because that girl child, her vagina has been cut into pieces. Stuff like that has been said, brainwashed to children in Europe. And now we don't want that anymore. Things have changed. From the day of today, from 2019, a child who is growing up in Europe is forever going to know the truth. And which means they are all going to stand on their own feet, which means they are also going to compete with the African children. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to teach my children to know where they are coming from, who they are, who were the first people to be in the world. I'm teaching myself, I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm knowing the history. And the more I know the history, the more I teach the children. The more I know the history, the more I teach the children that I come across. So no matter which system is ever going to brainwash the children from the day of today, they are going to contradict the other information they are going to get. Because it's very important for a child from Europe to know that there is never a moment that they are going to Africa and behave as if they are privileged. We are all talking about vaccinations. We are all talking about how diseases have been spread in different countries. And we know now about the slavery. We know now about what else happened. And of course, we know that if information on the internet is running faster than information that is spread on the ground. But don't forget, the information runs faster sometimes that people know. And as soon as people know, then it means that they are also going to tell their children. It depends on how strong you are. It depends on how indoctrinated you are. It depends on if you are actually prepared to come out of it. Because in the future, it's your child who is going to stand on on his own, and trying to save himself in this world. So what are you prepared to do today for your child? What are you going to feed to your child today? Is that materialism a present that you are going to give to your child as a Christmas present so they can be happy for the rest of the year? Or are you going to give your own child you feed them with the information that is going to help them in the future? You feed them with the moral support so they can become strong people in the future. You feed them with some don't brainwash your child by lying. Don't brainwash your child because you have always wanted something and now you expose that to your own child, or impose that on your child, or you project that on your child. There are so many things that we do as parents and thinking that, oh, it's going to satisfy us as parents, but we forgot that those little souls have got a future. So now we can discuss about the Blake Pit, we can discuss about Christmas, we can discuss about how do you call it, all sorts of festives that have been created as traditions. But we should not forget that there are arguments that are being set in the world. There are things that are being said to be true. There are things that are not true. And now who is telling the truth and who is going to be the person who is going to be listened to? That's the most important thing. But the only advice that I give every little parent who is here around me, who knows what we are supposed to be doing as parents, is teach your children from your home. Teach your children what they are supposed to be in the future. And of course, the system is a system that is going to help. It's a helping hand, but does not mean they have to teach your children how to live in the future. You are responsible as a parent. No matter how broken your family can look like, no matter how divorced you are, it means your child needs you as a parent, needs you as a father, needs you as a mother. And if there isn't someone like that, the next person who is taking care of those children is supposed to know. Teach yourself, check yourself, improve yourself. Make sure when you're making a mistake, you tell your children the truth that you are also a human being, because you cannot always be the role model who is perfect. That's why I told you I'm not a perfectionist, and I don't want to be either, because I make mistakes and I want to keep making mistakes so I can win, so I can learn, and so I can be a better person in the future. So thank you so much. I just wanted to share this with you guys, and it's really important for all of us to know that we are human beings. We are not perfectionists. We are human beings who make mistakes. We are human beings who are supposed to learn. We are human beings who teach each other. You should know that passing somebody's path is a crucial thing. When you are passing someone's path, it means that person is either there to learn or to teach you something. So never push people away because they are there in your life for, even if it's for a short period of a longer period, it means that they are there for a reason. We are here to learn. We may have thought that we have learned enough when we have our PhDs, our master's degrees. From what? Yes, that education was necessary in our life for that moment. Embrace it. But it does not mean it's the end of the world, because there are so many things that we were taught that were not true. So many things that we now know they are not true. So that's why you see us people like me, I'm not stubborn. I want to know more. I want to know more. And I want my children to learn even more, And by practicing what you have learned, it means then you're going to be somewhere. You can preach, you can write, you can do anything, but as long as you are not practicing what you are preaching, you are nothing. Not yet. So it means you still have to do a little bit more. My name is Melissa Budding. I'm from the Netherlands. I live in the Netherlands. I'm from Zimbabwe originally, and I speak Dutch as well. So in case you have some questions about what I've been writing, what I put on internet, what I put in audios, if you have any questions, ask in your language. I can try to do my best and translate. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
phofo le tau ya makesa